Well, the Attack on Titan finale aired, and was it controversial as the manga? Apparently not. I don't know what people were talking about. I really don't. That was fantastic. That was great. And let's break down what I liked about it. There'll be a few things that I didn't like, for the most part. I loved every second of it. Let's go over it. Right away, in the beginning of the episode, you can see Armin here is really faced with a big issue because all of these characters, and spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen Attack on Titan, go away, watch it, come the back, subscribe, and come back. Anyways, they're really, really nervous and they don't want to kill Eren. They're hoping for any other way. But as the show goes on, as the fight continues, it just becomes more and more hopeless. They land on the giant attack titan, or whatever the heck it's called, and suddenly out of nowhere, all of these other titans start appearing, and the action in this is so good. Another thing I wanted to point out is how beautiful this episode looks. It is gorgeous. I guarantee you, there's CGI in here. They use CGI to make this thing. I'm certain of it. But you can't tell. That's what's crazy about this. You know, there's a lot of controversy and discussion in the anime space about using CGI in 2D animations. For example, the last season of Demon Slayer, the Swordsmith Village, you can really notice it. When a certain demon pulls out its big dragon head that's made of wood, you can tell it's CGI and it doesn't quite mesh. Now, I thought Demon Slayer did a very good job with it, as opposed to some other anime, but you can definitely tell that there is CGI in this 2D animation so that they can make it faster. Because to do that, with 2D, I'm guessing would have just taken way too long. I guarantee you that's what's happening here. You're doing that here. I'm certain of it. But you can't tell. I don't know what they did. I don't know what sort of AI trickery they did to make this all look 2D, but it's freaking incredible. Looks absolutely stunning. And the plotting and the pacing of this episode was great because Annie comes in out of nowhere, flying on top of Falco. And you may think that, oh, that's a Falco transforming for the first time. That's a scene that we would want to see, right? And I feel that too. But when you consider the pacing and the flow of the episode, each scene really, really meant something and delivered the information necessary. Taking the time out of the battle to go and see Falco transform isn't actually necessary to move the plot forward. So what happens is Annie swoops in out of nowhere, saves Mikasa and Reiner and Sean from falling off the Titan and getting crushed in the rumbling, and quickly explains that, oh, Falco transformed on the ship, and now we're riding Falco, and the story continues onward. So there's no pausing in the story, there's no going back and forth. Like, everything is on a need to know basis, and I think that is brilliant, peak writing, straight up. Because right after this, during this conversation, the conversation segues right into Mikasa having to make the terrible decision, or see everyone else make the decision, that we need to kill Eren. They need to kill him. And she has fought this entire series, the entire freaking series. We've seen Mikasa go out of her way, risk life and limb in order to save Eren. And now here in the final episode, even in the last episode, the second last episode, she was still holding out hope, saying, I'll make the decision, or I have to get to him first and talk to him. Like, she was holding out hope this entire time. You see, this is her face right here when she realizes that everyone else has come to the conclusion, we just gotta kill Eren. We gotta kill him, man. It's too much. It's too late. The struggle is real, and it's just so good. And also in this episode, we get a lot of things that are just great fan service. Like, you wouldn't expect it. Like, this is very difficult to pull off, to hit all of the right emotional beats in a plot that is succinct and gives you everything that you need to know on a need to know basis, and also does fan service. Like, look at this, Mikasa running on top of Annie. Like, never thought that would happen, but it did, and it was awesome. Like, we're just getting so many good things in this episode. And then when the episode slows down a little bit, a lot of the action is towards the beginning. I have a little complaint about that, but really, not really. We get a conversation with Zeke and Armin. They're in the pathways, and they talk about how Zeke failed and what he would have wanted, and really just sort of wraps up Zeke's story. And then we get to the point where, and by the way, Levi did not hesitate at all. Like Levi, that was the best way for Levi and Zeke's relationship to finally end. Zeke just comes up, is like, God, it's pretty up here, and Levi's just like, you're done, boom, it's over. After two or three seasons of Levi and Zeke going back and forth, nearly killing each other, and then barely missing, Levi just comes in, boom, done. It's over. I finished it. Top G move. Just absolutely great on his part. And, we blow up. They blow up the neck around Eren. His head falls down. Of course, you don't believe that that's going to be it because Eren, of course, stands up. He's in colossal Titan form. And that's the one complaint that I thought I had initially, is that the fight between Armin and Eren as two colossal Titans didn't actually last that long. I feel like I would have got more. And, I think about it, I'm thinking, this episode was so well paced and so well plotted. Would a prolonged fight scene slow down the episode? Would it have made it worse? I'm not too sure about that. We did get a fight scene with them, yes, but it very quickly turns into, like, the way that they kill Eren is actually kind of quick. It feels quick because they all land on they all land somewhere else, and they reset and they regroup, and then they go back to fight. But to think about it, the fight to kill Eren has been going on for a long time, almost the entire fourth season, entire last half of the fourth season, and the entire last episode, and so this entire episode as well. And so I can't really complain too much. I just wish I could have seen a little bit more of two colossal Titans fighting. Although, to be fair, what we did get was really, really good. And of course, in the end, it's Mikasa stepping up and just being like, she just makes the cold hard decision. And it's actually this scene here that really sets the scene and makes this probably one of the saddest endings I've ever seen in anime. To know that this was an option for Mikasa and Eren to run away together and live peacefully for Eren's last 4 years on Earth. First off, did anybody know that she was romantic for Eren? I mean, I always thought they had a brother-sister vibe, and that's another brilliant thing about this episode and the show in general. They never told you that. I've seen seasons 1 through 3 twice. Never once did they tell us that Mikasa was in love with Eren. They showed us that she deeply cared for him by her ability to risk life and limb for him again and again and again. And I always felt like while I was watching this, I always got this vibe, like, she seems to be a little bit obsessed over him. Is she romantic with him? I thought they grew up as brother and sister. I'm not sure. I was never sure until the last episode showed us this. And we get that scene with her cutting off Eren's head and then kissing him. And that really hits me, man. That really hit me in the feels. That's going to stick with me for a long time. I feel like for the rest of my life, whenever I think about this ending, I'm going to feel something in here. That was really well done. And then, of course, we get Armin and Eren talking, and Eren's plan is finally revealed. He reveals to Armin that he really only had 3 options, and he picked the option that led to his doom and the supposed survival of his friends. And none of them were a guarantee. Even the option that he picked was not a guarantee. And in the end, he just admits, I'm just an idiot who got too much power. And boy, oh boy, is that something to think about. How many of our politicians and CEOs and people who secretly govern this world from behind the scenes, how many of them are just idiots who got too much power? They're emotionally insecure, and they make us fight their wars for them. How this show speaks to the real world so well. For Mikasa and Eren never getting to actually be in love, be together because life got in the way, shout out in the comments if that's you. I mean, God rest. I mean, God bless. I hope you get what you deserve, romantically. But man, and just think about it. All of these people in power, what if that's the case? What if all of these politicians and people who start wars and the CEOs of these NGOs who lobby for policies that don't actually have our best interests in mind, what if all of them are just idiots with too much power? Think about that. What if everyone in charge is just an idiot with too much power? They're just slightly smarter than us. That's how they got the power. 2023, a year where we've got two terrible wars on our hands, at least in the media. There's other wars going on, but nobody tells us about them. We got stuff going on in the Middle East, we got stuff going on in Ukraine, and it's like watching this, and you feel like the message of the episode is just the wars will continue. And, we're always going to be people fighting for ourselves and having conflict, and maybe one day we can be peaceful. And then you watch that, and then you just think about what's going on in the real world. It's like, oh, bro, like the real world that we're living in actually makes the show more emotional. And so, in total, also the happy ending I wasn't expecting is that so many of the secondary cast got to live. Connie got to live, Sean got to live, Armin got to live, Mikasa got to live, Reiner got to live, Peak got to live, those two kids got to live. Basically, everyone except Eren got to stay alive. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting mass casualties across the board. But no, it's just Eren. And I guess that's the way Eren wanted it too. And so I guess his plan kind of did work. Annie's still alive. Historia's still alive. But yeah, the show leaves us off in a kind of a dark and yet hopeful place. And then we go here, and it's just a really, really sad moment. We see Mikasa sitting at that tree by Eren's grave. You just go back to sad again, and then the credits roll. And I don't know if you watched all of the credits, but there's little small videos in the corner, and it's showing you whole cities rise up. And then as time keeps passing, you show Mikasa and a whole family, and then an old woman being buried wearing the scarf. And so Mikasa never takes off the scarf, because that time, that dream where Eren asked her to take the scarf off, never actually happened. And I'm assuming from what it looked like, she married and had kids and, lived a good life afterwards, but she never took off the scarf. And you see as the skyscrapers go up, and then there's bombs and explosions, and a whole new war starts over hundreds of years later. And then the end credit scene. You get an end credit scene with a young kid who looks suspiciously like Eren and Mikasa, probably one of their descendants. He finds a tree, and lo and behold, there's a hole in the tree that looks just like the hole that Ymir crawled in through. And of course, there's a head of a dead Founders Titan in there. So, yeah, maybe there's a sequel incoming. Who knows? I hear that the author of Attack on Titan is working on other stories in the Attack on Titan world. Maybe it's a sequel, maybe it's not. I'm not sure. I will take a sequel to Attack on Titan. I would be happy with that. And so, but let me know, what do you want? What did you think at the finale? I thought it was fantastic. I think Attack on Titan is God tier anime. It's official. It's God tier. Okay, I watched a couple of videos about the controversy for the manga and whatnot. Looks like the biggest controversy was fixed in the anime. The conversation between Eren and Armin. The anime, the conversation goes way better. There are other videos on that explain that better, so go watch those whenever you want. And yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.